Hello and welcome to Brodual. This time we have the Complete Crafting Overhaul Remade. The mod provides an overhaul to the vanilla crafting system, allowing you to fully customize your crafting experience in Skyrim. It also aims to make crafting more consistent by enhancing the functionality and balance of the crafting system. It also does a bunch of other things, including acting as a bridge between various armor and weapon mods. When you first look at the mod page, what you'll see is huge blocks of text and the list of changes goes on and on. But hopefully we can summarize everything into this quick and easy to understand video. First and foremost, the most important part of the overhaul is the mod menu, where you can pretty much alter or toggle any of its features I'm about to mention. So if you aren't fond of a particular feature, then you have complete control over whether it's activated. The main feature of the mod is the improved crafting menu, which has been designed so you can use the mod menu to enhance the vanilla crafting system. You can now easily filter the types of recipes you want to see. So for example, if you're playing a noble knight, then you probably don't want to bother crafting any prissy one-handed weapons or jewellery. So now you can completely filter them out using the mod menu. You can also filter the items in various other ways, like if you don't have the core component for an item, then it won't show up in the menu. You can also filter Eastern styled weapons like katanas and also filter the recipes based on lore. So if any weapons added by mods go against the lore, then that'll hide them from the menu. Crafting recipes have also been overhauled with the main aim that they be more logical and consistent. Any weapons and armors that didn't have recipes will now be craftable and improvable as long as you've met the requirements like perks or a quest. That also includes new recipes for arrows that couldn't be crafted, any circlets, axes and torches. You now also have the ability to craft unenchanted versions of faction gear as long as you're a member of that specific faction. So if you join the rebellion, you can craft Stormcloak gear, and same goes for various other factions in the game. You can even craft unjoinable faction gear like Falmer and Forsworn armor with a new learning mechanic. The way it works is simple, and you just need to loot some of the armor and then deconstruct it at a forge to gain learning points. And once you have enough points, you'll be able to craft it yourself. Items will now cost varying amounts of a primary component, a secondary component, and then some leather and other hides. So for example, iron armor in the vanilla game costs 5 iron ingots and 3 pieces of leather. However, now iron armor costs 5 iron ingots, 4 leather strips, 2 pieces of leather, and 1 goat hide. Generally, pieces of armor now require a specific type of hide in order to craft them, which is great for a hunting playstyle, and it also makes the activity more worthwhile. You can also decide if you want the gear to require specific hides or generic hides in the mod menu. The finished product's weight and cost will now also reflect more accurately depending on the raw materials needed to craft it, taking into account any excess materials lost during the crafting process. The cost of the item will also take into account the skill and time put into actually crafting the item. So ebony items will automatically cost more compared to iron items, not only because ebony is more rare, but because items crafted with ebony require more skill. The overhaul also comes with a variety of new features revolving around the smelter. You can now melt down armors and weapons to receive a fair amount of raw materials back, which is something we've seen in quite a few mods. However, you can now also make steel by melting down iron with charcoal, which is similar to how steel is made in real life. Charcoal can also be created at a smelter by using firewood and other miscellaneous pieces of wood clutter. So the smelter now provides even more ways to get raw materials. On top of that, you now also have control over mining and wood cutting. You have complete control over how much ore or wood you can get from a mine. You can even decide how many animated strikes or attack strikes it takes to deplete a vein. Ores now also weigh more and cost less, with the idea that mining itself isn't a lucrative lifestyle, and that you can now make more of a profit by actually spending the time to smelt the ore down into an ingot, which will now cost more and weigh less. You can also customize the percentage chance of getting a gemstone when you mine, and the type of gemstones you find will vary from each of the type of veins. So for example, you can only find diamonds and amethysts at ebony and glass veins, because those two gemstones can only be found near volcanic rocks in real life. And finally, there's a bunch of other optional features that either aim to improve realism, immersion, or the lore. So for example, in the vanilla game, black soul gems can be found by mining in Blackreach. However, the lore states that soul gems are man-made by wizards and necromancers and aren't naturally occurring, so now you can toggle that on or off. You can also decide whether Daedric items can only be crafted at night, or if you want to rename certain items to their older names from previous Elder Scrolls titles. So Corundum will be renamed to Copper, and Quicksilver will be Mithril. There are some other options too, but they're pretty self-explanatory, and you can find them in the mod menu. And that's almost everything you need to know about the Complete Crafting Overhaul. However, one of its main features is its compatibility with other mods, and generally you shouldn't have any major issues like crashing, but the issue with compatibility revolves around keeping the system consistent and balanced. The overhaul itself doesn't require any additional mods, however the author strongly recommends 2 bug fixing mods as well as the smithing perks overhaul. There's also two versions, one that supports all DLCs and another that's just for the base game. The mod is also automatically integrated with 3 mods, and they're Jace's swords, bandolier bags and pouches, and jewelcraft. These aren't required, but they will automatically adjust to the changes without any additional patches. For several other popular armor and weapon mods, you'll need to download a compatibility patch. They include the Cloaks of Skyrim, Heavy Armor, Immersive Armors, and the Immediate Born Book of Silence. So overall, the complete crafting overhaul comes with a bunch of different changes, ranging from the crafting station itself, all the way to how the raw materials are obtained. Put simply, the system is now more realistic and accurate compared to the vanilla game. The amount of customization alone makes the mod worth it, and if you've ever installed any of the bigger weapon or armor mods, then you know how annoying it is to scroll through hundreds of different recipes to find the right item. So if you're interested in the mod, then you can find a link down below, and as always, be sure to leave endorsements on any mod you enjoy, and thanks for watching.